So I just placed this trade literally moments ago, and as you can see, it's already running in profit. And the reason it moves so quickly is because how I refine my supply and demand zones. Now look, you probably understand how to trade supply and demand, but I'm willing to bet that your entries are still terrible. But that's what we are going to fix in today's video. So I'm going to show you exactly how I refine my zones to get these clean sniper entries, and at the end of this video we're gonna circle back to this exact trade so I can show you my full live trading, including the entry of the trade and where exactly I closed it. So let's get into it. But before we get into the trade itself, we need to set the foundations properly. Now if you already understand supply and demand trading, feel free to skip ahead using the chapters. If not, let's quickly go through it now so everything that follows actually makes sense. Okay, so let's actually start with a demand zone. So a demand zone is an area of consolidation that forms before a strong upward move in the Forex market. This usually appears as a small cluster of candles sitting at the base of a large push higher. And that consolidation cluster shows us where the strong buying previously took place in the Forex market, which means when the price returns to our demand zone, this is where we can expect buying pressure to step in the market. And instead of entering our trade right here where the train already left, we also get a cheaper price to enter our trade from, which you can probably guess we get a better entry, better risk to reward, and of course, greater results. Okay, so now that you understand a demand zone, well, supply zone is very easy to understand because it's built on the same idea, just of course applied in the opposite direction. So a supply zone is also a consolidation area that forms right before a strong move down in the Forex market. So we have a cluster of candlesticks and we see this strong bearish move down. So this supply level tells us where strong selling took place before. This is why we are seeing those huge momentum candlesticks towards the downside. If the price comes back to the supply level, we can also look for a short trading opportunities and align ourselves with a large institutions, which once again would increase the chance of our trade to be successful. Okay guys, so now supply and demand are clear as day. Let's actually talk about how most traders would actually enter their trades. So when you learn supply and demand, you will probably mark your zone just like this. So here we have a very clear supply level. This is Euro USD on the 4-hour time frame. As you can see, we have this rally, the consolidation phase, so the base at the top, and this huge bearish candlestick, which clearly shows a strong selling pressure in the market. Now, logically thinking, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this supply area, and you can trade from it if the price comes back to the zone, as you can see, like it did over here. However, this almost never gives you a sniper entry because, well, you're missing one important thing, which is the zone refinement. So instead of entering your trades directly from this higher time frame supply zone, what you want to do is to refine the entry, which means in this case, we have to go from 4-hour time frame all the way to the 1-hour chart to basically see if there is a clearer structure showing where the move actually started. And as you can see, if I just simply zoom that in, this is where the another zone literally sits at. So when we're gonna mark this 1-hour chart that actually sits in the 4-hour time frame, which is basically a zone inside a zone, and when the price comes back into this area, this is where you actually want to enter the trade. So let's simply compare how it would look like. So if you took the original trade from the higher time frame supply zone, so just around this price level over here, of course you have to set your stop loss above the supply level. So let's go ahead about 45 pips. And then of course you want to aim for at least previous lows or 1-to-1 on higher risk to reward. So let's do just around this. So let's make it even at 60. So as you can see, you would get a risk to reward ratio of 1.33, which means for every $100 that you are risking, you would get $133 back, which isn't bad, But of course, this could be improved. Now, if you use the zone refinement technique instead, the risk to reward ratio becomes much better. So instead of 1.33 risk to reward, the trade becomes roughly around 2.5 R, which means for every $100 that you are risking, you potentially making $250 back. And this is what creates those sniper entries. Because in reality, nothing else about the trade actually changed. You didn't change the overall trade idea, your stop loss stays the same, and your profit stays the same. The only thing that changed was your trade precision. And because of that, you're potentially making almost twice the return on the exact same trade idea. And that's the power of the zone refinement. And I think this is something that, you have to look for when you trade supply and demand. Now, guys, I don't want to scare you, but you may face another problem that you need to tackle on when trying to trade supply and demand. Because when you drop down from the higher time frame to refine your trade entry, you won't always find just, one clear zone sitting there waiting for you. Sometimes you will see multiple supply or demand zones sitting inside that one higher time frame area. And I mean, at this point, you're absolutely right to ask me one question. Well, which one do I actually need to trade from? I mean, do I place an order at the first one that the price touches? Do I aim for the deepest one? Or maybe I need to keep going lower into the time frames and try to get even a better entry? And this is actually where a lot of traders get stuck, or they start feeling overwhelmed, because they do understand supply and demand, they do understand the refinement, but without clear rules, they either hesitate or they over-refine the trade entry. And that's exactly what you can fix next in order to, don't overcomplicate your trading and get the results that you want. So when I see multiple zones on that lower time frame, this is the rule that I like to follow. I don't try to guess from which zone the price will react, and I don't place orders at random levels inside that area. Instead, I focus on what I call the extreme zone. So to simply explain it, the extreme zone is the zone that sits furthest away from the current price at the very end of the move. So for example, in a buying scenario, this would be the lowest demand zone, and in a selling scenario, this would be the highest supply zone that you could identify. This is the zone that gives price the most room to move, and it also offers the best risk to reward ratio. And the reason this works is very simple, because if price pulls back shallow, it may react from one of the higher zones. But if the price pulls back deeper, in many cases, it actually reaches the extreme zone. So if you place your trade order too early, you can be right about the market direction and still get stopped out. But by using the extreme zone, you allow the market to kind of fully retrace without invalidating the whole trading idea. And that makes the trade entry both safer and more efficient. So there's actually one more way to approach this, and that's by using scaling when trading supply and demand. So sometimes, instead of choosing just one zone, I will split my position across multiple levels. So let's say I want to enter a one full position at the trade, but instead of placing the entire position at one single price, I might scale into the market. So for example, I could place 1/3 of the position at the first level, and then another one in the deeper zone, and then of course the remaining position at the extreme zone, which means that way if the price reacts early, I'm already in the trade. But if the price pushes deeper, the majority of my position still gets filled at the best price possible. And I think scaling makes a lot of sense because it allows you to participate in a trade without sacrificing precision, because you are not too early and you're not completely kind of left behind if the price doesn't reach the extreme. And at the same time, the extreme zone still does the most of the work. That's where the best risk to reward ratio sits, and that's where the bulk of the position is placed. Okay, so now let me show you the live trade I have talked about in the beginning of this video. So here we are trading USD Japanese yen, and as you can see, I have two zones marked out. The first one is the 1 hour zone, which represents the higher time frame level, and then the refinement happens on the 15-minute chart. So it's the same logic we have talked about earlier on in this video, a zone inside a zone. But there's actually a problem with this trade, which is why I ended up closing it early, and maybe you can spot it. So if you actually take a closer look to the left side of this chart, you can probably notice that the price has already touched this demand area before. And when a zone gets touched multiple times, it becomes weaker because those orders starting to getting filled. So the more times the price returns to that level, the less reliable it becomes. But that's not the only issue. I also noticed after I entered the trade this supply level sitting just above the entry, and since the overall 1 hour structure was bearish, a continuation lower was much more likely. So instead of closing the trade to my full target, I decided to close it early and only take a half of the original profit target. But at the end of the day, I was actually very proud of myself that I was able to recognize the mistake that I made and of course fix it immediately and take that half of my position instead of waiting for the full one to be hit. And I think it's a pretty good lesson for myself, but especially for you, because I don't want you to make the same mistake. So when you identify a supply or demand zone, make sure that you find one that has not been touched, it's fresh as a cucumber, because when it's gonna get touched, oh my god, you're gonna see those profits and pips racking up and you're gonna be extremely happy. So make sure you're not gonna repeat the same mistake I did, and you're gonna thank me later. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you smash that like button and comment down below. If you want to become a member of my VP trading group and follow my trades live using the exact method that I taught you today, you will find the first link in my description box down below. And I highly recommend watching this video next because it could be the missing piece to level up your trading.